All right, so we are going to do our assessment. I am reading it to you guys, so please follow along. As I read the questions and the answer choices, maybe you have a piece of paper following along, circling the answers you think, so then when you go in to actually do the test, you have those answers already circled. So I will read this to you guys and go through the questions with you. So teeny tiny tardigrades. What would you say if someone asked you to name Earth's toughest survivor? Camels can go a week without drinking. A cockroach can survive more radiation than a person. But there is a teeny tiny creature that can go without food or water for years. It is so small that it can be seen only under a microscope. Its real name is tardigrade. Most people call it a water bear. Surviving everything. Water bears look like soft, squishy bugs. Most people call them bears because they walk the way bears do. Most water bears are smaller than the period at the end of this sentence. Don't let their size fool you. They are found in places that would kill most living things. Some water bears survive in the boiling water found in hot springs. Others live miles below the ocean's surface. They survive with tons of water pressing down on them. Not all water bears live in extreme places. They can be found in parks, forests, and gardens. They thrive in damp, woody areas where mosses and other plant life grow. Many feed by sucking juices out of plants. Others eat creatures that are smaller than they are. And this is below, this is a tardigrade or a water bear. And it's under a microscope, so we can zoom in and see it. So that is what they look like. All right, drying up. Water bears must have water to stay active. It helps them eat, move, and breathe. So what happens when the water around one of these tiny creatures dries up? First, it pulls in its 8 legs. Then it curls its body into a barrel shape called a tun. It loses 99% of its water. Then every single life function of the water bear stops. When conditions get better, the water bear stretches its little legs and starts moving and eating again. Water bears can survive the extreme cold and radiation of outer space. Scientists sent some water bears into space as part of an unmanned mission. They came back fine. Not so long ago, most scientists believed life did not exist beyond Earth. Now, many think it is possible. If water bears can survive a visit to outer space, who knows what other creatures might live there? Thousands of water bears spent more than a week in space before they returned to Earth. So that's what that picture is showing us, or giving us the example to think about. So let's get into the questions. Use what you learned from reading the selection to respond to these questions. So remember, we're asking and answering questions to better understand the text. Okay, so number 1, which 2 questions can be answered by reading paragraph 2? So let's look up at paragraph 2 before we read it. This one is about surviving everything and what they look like. So paragraph 2 is more about what they look like. They look like soft, squishy bugs. People call them bears because they walk the way bears do. They're very small, but they can kill most living things. So don't let their size fool you. So what questions can be answered from reading that paragraph? You need to circle 2. A, how do water bears survive in extreme surroundings? B, what do tardigrades look like? C, what do water bears need to stay active? D, how and what do water bears eat? E, how large are water bears? And F, why does a tardigrade need water? So paragraph 2, look at that over, look at what it talks about, and then pick 2 of these questions that can be answered from reading just paragraph 2. Which 2 of these can be answered by reading that paragraph? Okay, now let's get into number 2. Why are tardigrades called water bears? Why are they called water bears? And I believe you can find that answer in paragraph 2 as well. A, they have sharp claws like bears. B, they are named after a type of bear. C, they walk like bears. Or D, they look something like bears. So why are they called water bears? And I'm going to end this and start a new one.